Yep, welcome to it. This is the Artist Corner. It's been a long time. Feels good to be back. Feels good to be in this chair. You know, a lot has happened. It's been a whirlwind of just mayhem after mayhem, horror movie after horror movie. I just hope you are feeling strong wherever you are. I hope you are feeling healthy, you're feeling safe. And of course, if you're an artist, it is not easy. I know. Trust me. I feel it. Everybody feels it. You know, on the one hand, you cannot be on a set to express and work because people are literally dying. And on the other end, you're not even in a position to be auditioning to book that job. So it's just all round difficult and tough for us. But here we are. We still stand and we still wake up for a better hope and a better tomorrow. Welcome to the Artist Corner. Now, the thought was very simple at the top of the show. Representation. As I mentioned, this whole episode is inspired by everything I've been thinking about the past couple of weeks, especially since the loss of the iconic Mooneen Lee, may she rest in peace. You know, a woman that began a lot of careers in this industry, including my very own. You know, when I look back and I was doing all the numbers and I was literally going back scene by scene, show by show, production by production, I realized that Mooneen was really the person that kick-started my TV career. So then I thought to myself, what really worked in everything that we did from the beginning? What went right? You know, how did I get to really have a career? You know, and I remembered it was the very first conversation we had when I walked into our offices, you know, and that spoke to our representation journey from that point on, because she was now my acting agent, you know. But the way that relationship was founded really set it off for the journey that we had. Now, what is that? Well, let's talk about it. This is the show that I have birthed so I can, in my own way, find means to pass information down to you. Why? Because why not? You know, we live in a digital era. There's so much I feel and see in my daily journey as an artist. There's so much that's going right. You know, at the same time, there's so much that could go better. But what I'm learning is that build a solid career on top of. And that begins with setting the right relationships, the right parameters, the right structures with the right people. You know, if the agent is not up to par, are they really worth your talent? And, you know, you are in control of all of that. Which is why then I decided, let me reach out to a very dear friend of mine who is a representative of talent. She is one of the co-founders of Star Quality Management. Her name is Zinzi Zungu, and she works together with Miranda Jangase, and they've done really well in the representation space. They represent a lot of great talents that you see on our television screens. And, Zinzi is somebody I went to film school with, and I identify with her as an actress and now a representative of talent. I spoke to her about what it means to represent talent. I spoke to her about what the journey is between her and her own actors and actresses under her books, and what the future of representation looks like in the new normal. Here's what she had to say. Zinzi, how you doing? So nice to have you.
I'm good. How are you doing?
I am 100%. I'm just excited that you and I get to have a conversation. One, I haven't seen you in ages, but two, we're going through this pandemic that is just introducing us to a whole new way of doing things.
A whole new way of living. Yeah. It's been real. It's been a real eye-opener, I think. It's a period of time for us to kind of relook at things and to kind of go, okay, what's working, what's not working. It's really made, somebody was saying to me yesterday, if you're a creative, this is the time to really get creative.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you're creative, there's no better time than right now to actually look around you to see how you can actually redefine yourself and your career and your path. And how does that work? I mean, how's it working out for you? Firstly, as somebody that runs a business, I would say a fairly new business in the arts, an agency where you represent talent. How does that work for you guys? Has business been normal? You've been continuing just as normal?
Look, I mean, there are two facets of the business. We have the agency and then we have our training college. So with the agency, I think the initial shock was for a good month and a half, everything shut down. Yeah. Like there was no work happening. Yeah. So no commercials were being shot, no productions were shooting. And it was a predicament of no work, no pay. So obviously if the artists aren't earning, we aren't earning. And I think, we had to sit down and go, okay, if this does continue, what else can we do? If productions are not shooting, what else can we do? So we started looking at managing influencers, number one, because a lot of the advertising space went onto social media. Yeah. So we had to start, getting creative, making sure that we plan our artists to have, a big social media following with clients to get them to do their ads and anything else on that space. So not necessarily influencers, but also actors who have an influencing space on social media. Yeah. And then with the school, obviously we went online. We were doing our drama classes online.
It's crazy.
It's been, it's been a challenge. Sometimes people don't have data. Sometimes the sound is not working. You know how things were, but we're figuring it out. And, we had to go, okay, it's time to adapt. Otherwise, we will not survive this. So, our whole thing throughout this has been adapt or die, You got to keep moving. You got to keep figuring out what's the next step.
Yep.
And a lot of productions have had, bouts of COVID where they've had to shut down for a period of time. Yeah. But, we're slowly kind of getting back to normal now where, okay, this is what it is. And, work is starting to slowly get back into the swing of things.
I like how you said you had to redefine how your artists are presented and how you're putting them out there. Yes, they're still actors, but they've also got this digital community or this online community that is valuable. And you as an agent thinking on your toes, I think that's quite commendable, the fact that you could think like that and implement immediately, because a lot of people wait for trend.
And look, and also I think we encouraged our actors to get on social media, create your own content. Don't sit at home and be idle, use this time to, perfect your artistry, do monologues, put them online, create skits, create content, because, you don't know who's watching. And that's the thing, you have to continuously keep yourself busy so that you don't know who may see this. There's a guy who's created a whole show around this whole COVID thing, and he's gotten so many followers, and we've actually had a casting director even else to see him for something else. So
Wow. You
it's
see,
about what you make it. Hey, it's about, you have to make it, the situation is what it is. So how do
yeah.
you make it work for you?
That's the whole idea for our platform, for what I've created with the Artist Corner. It's purely a platform that can offer you that kind of information. Like everything you've just
Yeah.
speaks back to the psychology of the artist and how you think about your career, how you envision the business of your career. Yeah, we're all passionate. We've got the drive, we've got the performance, but now, how do you guide that with smarts and business expertise? Not that we should all have it
Mm.
ourselves, but then agents, I believe, then come in and play a bigger role. Yes, you're just an agent, but now you're forced to think bigger than an agent. Now you're a business manager to an extent, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
So we've had to also look at our positioning as agents. Right now, the job is, we get a brief from client, we send the artist out. If the artist gets booked, handle contracts, negotiations,
sure.
and then what happens after that, right? Tapelo becomes a big star. Then Tapelo goes and finds a manager and a PR person out there who then starts negotiating deals and getting endorsements and getting, all the things that actually could all be in-house,
Yeah.
so we had to, yeah, so we're like, okay, hold
Yep.
on, we're creating, the stars of tomorrow, here they are, and then we're sending them out to somebody else. So we have to revisit and relook at what our positioning is
Yes.
as agents.
Yes.
We need to
Absolutely.
actually have a personal management sense and PR within the business, so that
Yes.
everything is in-house, so that we're not actually sending money out to somebody else, whereas it's all coming back to us, because it doesn't make sense, right?
Doesn't make sense. And look, it could work better. Like you've said, that is a
Yeah.
better solution to the business offering. And also as an actor, I think I will feel that much more comfortable if it's all happening under one house, and also feel safer that
Yeah.
the same person that's
Because we
selling.
find ourselves working with managers, and I'm booking this person with, a series and this and that, and they're working on a different calendar, and I'm just like, technically speaking, we could all be working
We'll be
together in
working
this one
together.
space, like,
Yeah.
and it makes it more, the transition smoother. You know what this person needs, I know what this person needs, we both have an understanding, because obviously as an agent, I have a relationship with you. It's not just, okay, you're on my, well, that's how we feel.
Yes.
One thing we always say is that we're family. If you're in the vicinity, sit down, come tell me your woes. I understand what it's like not to work. I understand what it's like to struggle. I
Yes.
understand when you keep going for castings and you're not booking anything. So what's the next step? What else can we do? Okay, let's look at your images. Let's look at your pictures. Let's look
Yes.
at,
How do we
what are you
strengthen it?
selling? What's working? Yeah, we have to sit down and go, okay, let's try and redefine. Maybe this is not working. Maybe you need to change this. Maybe you need to change this. Okay, maybe actually we need to send you for classes, and let's brush up a bit.
Yeah.
So
Work on your
it's
brand.
not just for,
Mm.
yeah, it's not just for us a matter of, okay, you can go and do that. Speak to us. We're here for you. We're family.
In my little ways, when I bump into people and they ask me stuff, which is why I set up the Artist Corner, because there's a platform
Mm.
in my house, in my home studio. I can just press record and feed you the stuff, because I go through it daily. And the balance between this relationship is key. Previously,
Yeah.
actors have been walking into agencies like Sizonge Ngumsebenzi, like, oh, we're at the mercy
Mhm.
of. And I try to remind the actor that the talent sits with you.
Yeah.
Agents,
We can
agents
only do so much. Yeah.
only do so much. An agent
Yeah.
represents your talent. In fact, an agent works for your talent. And
Mm.
together you create this family that you speak about, which then
Mm.
strengthens the relationship. And together you can go, okay, you are actor X. Let's work around
Mm.
you. You're well built, you're good looking,
Mm.
you have freckles. We love that. There's something
Mm.
awkward
Mm.
about you. You've got a weird walk. It works for you. Let's work around
Yeah.
it and let's tailor a package, which I think for me is great to hear from Star Quality Management and from your
Mm.
organization that you've built with Miranda. Like the fact that you have that, you care to that level. Firstly, you don't owe the artist that. All you owe them is a brief and a script.
Yeah.
But if you can go,
And
you know,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And a lot of them don't get that. You know, we get so many people who come to the office, and we don't obviously take everyone. And
yeah,
our big thing for us is obviously we take in a lot of unknown faces, because we know what it was like coming into the business, and nobody wants to give you a chance. Nobody wants to
sure,
represent you because you
sure.
have nothing on your CV, A, B, C,
Yes,
D, E,
yes.
F, G.
How do you get
But
it
you've
on
got
if
to
you
be
didn't work?
willing. Yeah, you know, we'll give you that chance, but you've got to be willing. We always say, you know, it's hard work, it's preparation, it's what you do as well, you know, because I can only take you so far. But if you're not putting in the work, if you're not taking care of your body, if you're not taking care of your face, if you're not watching and continuously
Yes,
working on your craft,
yes, yes,
there's only
yes.
so much I can do, right? And
Yeah.
people have this misconception that also once you get in, that you're gonna blow up, right?
I
And it doesn't
mean,
happen that way for
right?
everyone.
Right? Like,
Yeah,
and it's almost like, and it's also expected. I don't know why we feel this way that once I get the one show, it's done. And then everyone just
yeah,
waits
like
for
this
it.
is
Like, because that's old school. Like, then you wait for what? The media to call you. Nobody's calling you because it's all on digital. The media is on your own
yeah,
platforms. And
yeah,
and those who don't know, you know, Zinzi and I went to film school together. We sat in the same class together. We graduated
yep.
together. We
Mm.
literally went through performance together from year one to final year. Zinzi is an
Yep.
actress. I know
Mm-hmm.
this. She's an actress. For those of you who know
Mm-hmm.
her as the agent, okay, just to get that
Mm.
clear, you know, that's who
Yeah,
he is. So, also an agent who understands the value and the journey of an actor or an actress. For
oh
me,
yeah.
that just makes it, it takes it. And this is why I wanted to speak to you directly. And
Mm.
you know, obviously I was reflecting back on my own journey as an actor and where it is now, and just, you know, how, and I looked at how it's worked out this way. You know, how is it
Yeah.
that I've never stopped working? I was reflecting back on my journey with Muneen Lee.
Mm.
Obviously, you know, may her soul rest in peace.
May his soul rest in peace. She's a big player, you know, a big player in the game. Her contribution, I think, in the industry in general.
Yeah,
Um, and I remember one thing when you would always say is that she's always about the talent, the raw talent. She's not interested in the glitz, the glam, the
nah,
whatever else that was there.
yeah,
She was about the talent, you know,
yes.
and it showed.
It showed, and she
Mm.
spoke and represented the performance, you know, like it
Yeah,
was so insane to me. Like, this is before, I mean, we would have arguments, Muneen and I, about the agency not being on digital, because I could see it
yeah,
already. You know, I already had my Twitter, my Facebook. I already could see, and I was reading up about it. This is years ago. And I could
yeah.
see where the trends were going, but she's like, I'm not about that social media. And I could see at the time she wasn't too understanding of the platforms. And
Mm.
I was saying, oh, can you put our voiceovers on your website so that people can click and listen on, you know? And she cared about the performance, which is something that you have at Star Quality.
Yeah,
I can see the people that you have. I'm like, okay, mthatha abantu abaperformayo, and then you turn them
yeah.
into,
We care about the actor. We care about the performance. It's so, you know, there's nothing more moving. There are so many people, that young people that I see who are even on the books, who just give their all. And
all
I
of
keep
this.
saying to them, just hold on. Like, it's
Yeah,
gonna happen, because if you're putting in the hard work, trust me, somebody's gonna discover it. Somebody's gonna see it. Somebody's gonna believe in you. But you just have to hold on, and it's hard, you know. It's a very difficult thing, but we believe it. And
yes,
the one thing also, you know, that we're trying to do is, you know, obviously I told you we have the school. In
yes,
the
yes.
school, what we're teaching our actors is the business of acting, right?
Amen.
Is understanding, not that you are the business, and understanding certain things like contracts, and how to create your own content,
Yes,
and how to write a business plan, how to get funding, do all these things in between, because, you know, there are going to be times, unfortunately, not everyone's going to be at TAPS where you work continuously throughout. So then what do you
then
do,
what?
you
Yeah, yeah,
know?
yeah. You
Yeah,
know,
you've got to figure that out. So
yeah,
you've got to, and I would rather you work as a casting director assistant, or as a makeup artist within the industry, than having to go work a 9 to 5
a
as a
95
receptionist. You know what I mean?
somewhere,
Yeah.
you know,
So I'm
and
saying, try
yeah,
figure out how to make it work for you within the industry that you love.
yes, yes. And I
Mm.
mean, you are the business. You are the business. It keeps coming back all the time. And this is true. This is the information that people should
Mm,
read in between the lines if nobody's telling you. This is the information you should pick up when you see Dwayne The Rock Johnson and how he's
mm.
transformed his career and actually has become an actor because of hard
Yeah.
work, yes, but also understanding the business of it. I always say it's important for artists to be involved in the detail of the jobs they sign up for.
Oh, yeah.
Understand how your agent got to that figure. Together, brainstorm the figure, work it together. Like it's never really a one. For so long, we've had it all wrong, and we've treated it as, oh, thank you, you've gotten me the brief, or thank you, we got the audition. Please let me know when the
Hmm.
contract is signed. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
you are the business, and it's a team sport, and it's a partnership. I always say, if you
Yeah,
can,
we discuss the fees with the artist before I even agree. I'm like, listen, this is what I think you're worth. This is what, and if you accept this, just know that going forward, this is the rate that you're gonna get. So you may have to decide for yourself. Are
yeah,
you willing to be this person? Are you willing to let this go? You have to make certain decisions about your life and the career
yeah.
that you want to have. Yeah.
And most importantly, understand your climate, right? We're not in Hollywood or LA. No,
Oh yeah.
I was speaking to casting director Kim Harden and Winsome Sinclair from LA and Atlanta, and the
Mm,
first thing that we agreed on and that we shared as a common thought is that we're working with different economies, right? Our
yeah.
economy in our industry is definitely not what it is in LA. So we need to understand that as
Oh,
actors,
far from it. Yeah.
far from it, right? So we need to obviously understand our climate, who we are. And in that, from understanding that, we know what our little work can do for us. And we then understand what else we need to do
Mm,
to get our dreams and the lives that we desire up and running. And I encourage
yeah.
and always say, actors, treat yourselves as a business, treat your offering as a business. In any environment, you are constantly presenting your work. Like a musician
Yeah.
presents a new single, like an artist presents a new painting. Every time you walk on a set, you're presenting your work, and your agent has represented the business of your work. And together,
Yeah.
that is the fire powerhouse, and my journey with Muneen, I look back and I'm like, what worked well is from day one, I insisted on meeting her face to face. In
Oh
fact,
yeah.
she had called me in to meet me face
Mm,
to face because she'd heard of me and she wanted to offer me something. And
mm.
I didn't want to go in a soapy, so I was already reluctant, but I wanted to meet this woman. And
Mm.
I think that conversation that happened in that room set our journey off because she understood that I wanted to be involved
You were.
in every facet
Yeah.
of this thing. She understood my young dreams. I wasn't even gray. And she was just like, okay, you're weird and you're different because you're coming with all this energy. You're telling me what you want, but it's cool.
But it's important to have a vision of who you want to be.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't have a vision of the actor and the brand that you want to be, you wouldn't be where you are today. A lot of actors come in not knowing. We're like, okay, so where do you see yourself?
But
What
anything.
what is
But
it?
no my
Yeah,
no
yeah,
my It's like,
yeah. No, then I'm like, but you can't. You can't. You're not a Nomaini. What is it? Who are you? Where do you see yourself?
yeah.
What's your brand? What is, if you have hair like this, what are you saying? Do you understand? Do you
Yeah.
know if you have a gold tooth? Uzosebenza gold tooth. Where are you going? Like, I'm just confused. You know? Take yourself no, seriously. Like, I'm just like, take yourself seriously. The people
I
we've had to
agree.
send away and say, go figure out who you are. You don't know who you are. And
Uh,
it's if you don't know who you are, how are you going to sell yourself? Because
yeah.
that means you're pretty much going to jump from here to there to there. You get actors who've done bit parts on like every single show in the country.
Yeah.
Now what? Where do you go? You have to
Sure.
understand who you are, and you have to understand what you're willing to sacrifice and what you're willing to do in order to get to the
Absolutely.
place. The vision needs to be clear. Like with a business, a
Absolutely.
vision, mission statement, what's your vision?
Where
What's
are
your
we
mission
going?
statement? All of
Yeah.
those things are important.
Where are you going? What are you selling? What is
Yeah.
the pitch? What career do you envision for yourself? Who are you
Mm-hmm.
or do you just want to be famous? Or you just want to get on TV? Because there's a lot of that,
Yeah. And
what,
then there are those, right?
and then there's a,
And then there are a whole bunch of those
I mean,
who
that's,
just want to be on TV. Yeah.
and
And then
just,
you'll get on TV. And I say, and you'll get on TV, right? But you won't, your career won't go anywhere. It will fizzle within a year or two because you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
yeah,
And people will see that. And it is what it is.
yeah.
Longevity is the key, right?
Longevity is
Especially
the
in an
key.
industry this small.
Yeah.
You can't be messing around.
Consistency and longevity is the key, and self-understanding and self-knowledge is a great big first step to having a better career than most actors and actresses
Yeah.
out there. Zinzi,
And
I
speak
can't.
to your
Yeah,
agent.
yeah,
Yeah, man. Speak to your agents. I always say, we are employed, technically speaking, by you, right?
correct.
So
Correct.
if you have no form of relationship with your agent, if you're too scared to pick up the phone and be like, but I don't understand this contract, can I see a copy of my contract? Can I have an understanding how you got to A, B, C, D, E, F, G?
Hey,
You have to ask these questions. Have a relationship with your agent. If you don't, then I don't know what you're doing.
I couldn't have said it better. Like, everything
Yeah.
you said is like, it's nice to hear these words from another person, because
Mhm.
burns me. It burns me. It burns me. And like, I can't, and you see it, thank God we've got the digital era these days. We've got,
Mm.
we can keep up with each other's journeys, but like, I see it and I'm just like, so much is going right for you, but so much is not structured,
Yeah.
and you think about, you say, I'm in South Africa. If I service this industry long enough, maybe I'm guaranteed to have a house. But you can't
Yeah.
build wealth of this stuff that we're working with at home at this moment.
Yeah.
You can't build wealth, but you have to think. So you have to think bigger than just, Guti, I'm just gonna go act and wait for another job to actually.
Diversify all the time. We were having this conversation yesterday with other artists, and I said, you have to diversify, unfortunately. And if you think for a second, even the most celebrated, I'll give you an example, a random, it's not an actor, a presenter, like a Bonang, who understands that, okay, I'm good at this, but this is not just what I'm doing, right?
Correct.
Even yourself, you know that, yes, I'm an actor, but this is not, this is how can I use this platform to take me to the next level? That's what you need to think.
Amen. Amen. Empower yourself. And that's where that's at. And this is why this episode is put together. All about representation. There's way more that we didn't speak about. It goes deeper.
Yeah.
There are layers. There is a way of there's a chain of command as to how you navigate yourself. But that's a story for another day.
I'll speak on just one thing before we end our conversation.
Sure.
How you approach an agent is something that bugs me.
That's a big one, actually. That's a big one, actually.
Yeah. So we get, firstly, don't send me a WhatsApp saying hi. Like, don't do it. I will not respond. Email, when you send an email and you say, I want to join the agency, you haven't put your CV, you haven't put your bio, your pictures are filtered, you are sending pictures from 5 years ago. I'm not going to take you seriously.
No, you're not. No.
Yeah, so don't DM me your pictures on the beach with sunglasses. Guys, it's a profession. This is to us, this is a profession.
Yes.
So we take it seriously. Yes. So please, have respect for us, and we'll have respect for you too. Yes. We get so many messages and people are like, yeah, but you ignored my email. I'm gonna ignore your email if it's not serious. If you're not serious, I can't be serious. Wow. You cannot take for granted the way that you approach somebody. Yes. It's like going for funding. It's like going for an interview, a business interview. How are you dressed? You come into the office, you're a girl, your hair's a mess, no makeup on, you're selling, you are the brand, right? As the brand, come in looking amazing. I don't want to have to imagine
how you look when you look great.
Kapilo had combed his hair, and dressed nicely. This is what he's going to have to look like. No. Come looking the way that you want people to perceive you.
Eish.
Regardless of what that is. So our people, I just think, the approach needs to change. If you want to be taken seriously, then take yourself seriously.
That's what it's all about, fam. That's exactly what it's about. We are empowering you, the artist, whether you're established, upcoming, or frustrated. Take some gems, follow us at Artist Corner TV and learn a thing or two on the house. Appreciate you, Zinzi. Tune in next time and find out exactly what it is that we're sharing with you next. You know where to find us, Artist Corner TV across all platforms, or you can just click subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell to get all those notifications. This journey is all about myself taking everything that I've learned and everything that I've seen, and the little that my friends tell me, and bringing it to you through this channel. It takes a lot of work to put it together, and that's because we care about the African artist. That is our job, and we'll do it as best as we can. Thank you so much for subscribing. Can't wait to catch you next time. Stay tuned. One love.